What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode of a running series here on the channel called Wife Approved Tech. You know who I am if you're on this channel more than likely. And this is my wife, Jessie.
Hello.
So last time we did an episode of this, you were using, once again, the Galaxy Z Fold 6. You've kind of been jumping around phone to phone. You've always been like a Pixel
Mhm.
person, but you wanted to use a foldable, so you tried my Fold 6, and you really enjoyed it, but you couldn't shake the feeling that you really wanted to use a Pixel device again. And so, of course, in
Yes.
that, in that last video, everybody said, let her use the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And so that's what we ended up doing. After the 10 Pro Fold arrived, I no longer had need for the 9 Pro Fold, so we set that up for you, put your SIM in there, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How has that been for you comparing a Samsung foldable to a Google Pixel foldable? What have you noticed differentiating those two, and which one have you ended up preferring? So first off, going from that Fold 6 to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I guess the first question I would have is, are you settled, do you think, on this Pixel Fold? Do you ever kind of feel like, maybe I want to go back to that Z Fold?
I have a thought every now and then that I might want to, but honestly, I don't think that I will. I feel like just size-wise, this is much better for me. That's gonna be the biggest thing is, like, just comfortability, like, in my hand as far as the 2. Um,
And
like,
quickly,
I don't wanna go back to the narrow screen,
that's what I was going to
you
ask.
know?
So even though the Fold 6 was
Yeah.
a bit wider, and the Fold 7, of course,
Mhm.
is even wider than that, you'd probably be pretty happy with the Fold 7. You do really
Yeah.
like that normal cover display feeling
Mhm.
of the Pixel Fold. And
Yeah.
obviously, you've got a case on there, which makes that phone quite a bit
Mhm.
thicker. So thickness, weight, not really a concern for you.
No, no, not at all. I actually like it a little bit thicker because I feel like I can hold on to it better. I don't know. I feel like there are some people that don't feel that way. They like it to be lighter, but I like it to be thicker because I feel like I'm just gonna hold on to it better.
Yeah, I can
I don't
understand
know.
that.
I don't know why, but yeah, I really like that this is almost the exact same size as my Pixel 9, right?
I think it
Like
is
the screen
literally,
size.
I think it is like exactly the same size. I may be
Yeah.
wrong about that, but
So
I think I'm right.
it feels more comfortable. Um, I don't know if I answered the question. I kind of forgot also what the question was.
Just, that you don't feel a pull
Oh, no.
going back to your Z
No.
Fold 6.
I don't. I actually don't. I kind of thought that I would. I thought that I would kind of miss the way that it felt. I thought that I would miss the software just like a little bit because I feel like the Samsung software has finally gotten to a point where it's really good and it's not, bad like it was before. But I don't have any desire to go back to it. I don't think.
Just you won't be able to see this, but they'll be able to see this. I'm showing this on the screen now. The Pixel 9 had a 6.3-inch screen, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold obviously has an 8-inch inner screen, but it is a 6.3-inch cover display. So it is the
Hmm.
exact same size in terms of that outer display. So you
Yeah.
really are getting
Yeah.
the experience of your old phone with the
Mhm.
same sorts of software things, everything that just kind of felt at home to you. But then when you do need to open it, you can open it up. And I guess that's a good transitionary point there. Like Z Fold to Pixel Fold, are you using the inner screen at about the same rate, or are you has that is there a difference between the way? Because obviously both of them open the same way, but it's
Mhm.
fun for me to look at how the form factor and how the software impacts how and when we use these things. So what's been your
Yeah.
experience there?
So I'm gonna say this. Unfortunately, I'm using the inner screen less. I'm pretty much only ever using it if I'm reading or if I'm like maybe like shopping and I just want a bigger screen. Um, I'm not I'm not multitasking. I wasn't doing a lot of multitasking on the 6, but I'm really not doing it now because I don't like the way that you have to go in and set up the split screen. It's
So it's
not intuitive for me.
the problem you're running into is the experience of, so
Mhm.
you've got an app open and you want to open up a
Yeah.
second app, so you have to go into the taskbar and then
Yeah.
drag a second app
Like, I
onto
have
the
to be
screen.
like,
You
"Okay, I
don't
gotta hold that down," and then, okay, like, I'm
s
guess like, this symbol for the split screen, I always just forget what it is, and then so it's on that side, and then I've gotta pull up something else, I don't know, I
Which
would never do
if you're
this,
doing
but
it if you're doing it yeah, so you're going from
yeah.
home screen to so let me ask you this, how often are you already in an app and then you want to do a split screen thing, so you just open up the taskbar, grab an icon, and just drag it into place, versus being on your home screen and thinking, I have no apps open, but I'm going to open 2 apps. Like, are you
Hmm.
starting with 2 apps, or are you 1 app and then opening a second? Because 'Cause I'm typically already in 1 app and then opening a second, but it sounds like
So
you are often on your home screen and want to go directly into 2 different apps.
yeah. Yeah, but I think that's like a thing that I do, like a quirky thing that I do. Like I close all of my tabs, so I usually just don't have any tabs running or any apps running in the
Yeah,
background. I close everything when I'm done,
which you don't
set
need to
the
do.
phone down. I don't need to do it, but I do it. I'm always gonna do it too. Now usually if I'm like in my book app and I want to like open up something, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I forget that taskbar is down there because it's
Mhm.
not always there, so I forget about it. So
Have you thought
I
about
could have made this easier on myself.
pinning it down there so it's always visible?
I've tried to do that, and I'm telling you, it has look, it says always on taskbar, but it's not though.
So, um oh, I wonder if when you're
Is it my
in a
reading?
because that app is full screen, so it
Let's
may
try it in
get
something
it
else.
open up a different app. I bet
Let's
if you
try
yeah, yeah. The book app is a full screen app, so it is occluding the
yeah.
taskbar to
So
be full
that's the
screen.
problem. That's
So,
probably not a problem everyone's having. That was just because of my app.
on your Z Fold 6, the way you would split screen is you would swipe up and hold to go to your
Mhm.
recent screen, and
Yep.
then you would tap on the app and hit split
Mhm.
screen, and then you would open up the second app,
Yeah, and I
which
just like that better for some reason.
you can do that on the Pixel, just to be clear, because I know people are going to be saying in the comments, you can do that on the Pixel too. But it's
Oh,
different because on the Pixel, when you go to the recents and you tap and you do split screen, the only apps available to you to be the other split app are your other recents. Whereas on the Samsung, it
yeah.
gives you an
Yeah.
alphabetical app drawer and you can
Yeah, it
pick
could be just
any app.
anything. Yeah.
So you don't really have, especially someone like you who's
Mhm.
always closing your running apps,
Mm.
you don't have any options there. So
Yeah.
you would need to get used to the little short swipe and dragging apps onto the screen.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that just doesn't speak to you. And what's cool about Samsung phones is they will give you an end goal of doing this
Mhm.
thing, and they'll say, here's 8 ways to do it, and you can find one that works for you.
And I like that. I like that there are multiple different ways because I'm gonna find what works for me. Well, since I'm already always opening up my recent apps and clearing them out,
You're just used to
it
that.
just
Yeah.
it's just a different motion for me. So I do miss that. Another thing too is I've noticed that sometimes like it won't let me choose which side I can put each app on. I don't
If
like
you
that. I don't
if
know why, but I don't like that.
you have to get used to the short, so you're already in an app.
Mhm.
That's one thing. The fact that you're going from no apps open directly into
Yeah.
split screen, it's gonna
Yeah.
pick what side you're in. So
Yeah.
open app number 1 first, do your short swipe, and then drag that app to whatever side you want it to be on, and you will have control of that. This is just it's a muscle memory thing.
Hold
You're
on.
so open app 1 up first. Now,
Mhm.
whatever the second app is, you've got your taskbar down there. Just long press and drag it into place.
Mm.
Whatever app you want it to be. We'll do it live. Just hold it and drag it. Boom.
Oh.
I'm sure I've shown you
I
this at
haven't
some
I
point,
haven't
but
tried n I no, I haven't tried to do any of this stuff.
so but the point being, you were able to find on the Samsung device an intuitive way that worked for you. On the Pixel
Mhm.
device, they only
It's
really
not
give you
intuitive.
like a couple of ways to do it. And if it doesn't feel right to you, it doesn't feel right to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll be able to get used to that. Now, I do want to ask,
Yeah.
is part of the reason you're opening it less? Is it more that you find the inner screen less useful because of these things? Or is it more that you find the outer screen more useful because it's wider?
I think it's both. But also it has a lot to do with that because I was still using the front screen a lot on the Fold 6, but I was not enjoying it because it was
Mhm.
too narrow. I can do
You're
anything I
fine.
want on here because it's my phone. It's phone
Yeah.
shaped, it's phone
You're
sized.
absolutely.
Yeah, I can type better on here, so I would
Mhm.
open up the Fold 6 a lot to type because
Okay.
I couldn't type on the front screen without tons of, like,
And then
errors.
once you're in the inner
Yeah,
screen, you end up just being in there and just using it because you
yeah,
opened it. You're not gonna open it and
yeah.
type and then close it. By the way, this is
Mhm.
not typing. You would you wouldn't open it to type. Like Zoidberg over here. What am I doing? Here's another
Yeah.
question.
But I
This is
have actually opened it to type and shut it. I have done that though.
I mean that but that kind of speaks to how you felt about that cover display.
Yeah.
Um, People on the internet, I don't know if you know this, they love benchmarks. They love to benchmark phones and then tell you which one's better than the other based on
Mhm.
synthetic benchmark numbers. Your Z Fold 6 is a like indisputably more powerful phone than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Have you felt any? Do you notice anything at all?
No.
When you're using it feels smooth, it feels fast. You don't notice any problems there.
No.
That's what most people are
Nothing.
going to experience. Okay, just wanted to
Yeah.
get that out of the way.
I'm not stressing my phone out.
Most people aren't. Let's be real. Most you're
Yeah.
not 3D CAD model. Most people are
Yeah.
they're scrolling through Pinterest or TikTok or whatever. That's what most
Yeah.
people are doing. So
I do nothing on my phone other than read, text, and shop online.
now something that is a bit more ubiquitous is battery life. Everybody has to charge their
Mhm.
phones. What has your experience been? So the Pixel has a 46, excuse me, breakfast, a 4650 milliamp hour battery. And the Z Fold has a 4400 milliamp hour battery, so it is slightly smaller than the Pixel. Have have you had better battery life on the Pixel?
I feel like I have. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I'm pretty sure it is because like when I go to work, typically here lately, I've been the one who's been controlling the radio. So my phone's connected to a Bluetooth speaker
All day long.
um all day long. My screen timeout is set to 10 minutes because I'm often having to use like Authenticator to get into my apps on like my work apps.
Mhm.
And then also I'm having to, scroll through the music and stuff. So,
Is it
or
just
like
sitting
texting
in
back and forth between people.
is it opened and just sitting in like
Mm,
a stand, or
no,
is it
it,
the you just kinda set
it's
it on
just
your
like
desk?
this. It's just like this. And then like I just have like my music app open. And then
Keep
like
talking.
sometimes I'll have to like you know, I just have to do a lot of stuff on my phone at work. So I just sitting on my desk like this and it's just
I'm
open.
I'm gonna send you to work with this stand. I've had this
That
thing
would
for
be
years,
awesome.
and there's a little button on the side. You push it,
Yeah.
and then you can open it up, and the beautiful
Yeah.
thing about this is that you can do this, and you can have it
Mhm.
open. Or you know what I
Yeah.
could do? I could 3D print another one of
I
these. I
wanna
I don't think I
I
can
want
reach
that
to be
one.
on screen. I could 3D
Yeah.
print another one of these. I've got another one of these charging pucks, and
Yeah.
then you really would not have any
Yeah.
concern for battery life because you
Yeah.
just it would just be charging. Either way,
Well,
something like that I think would be pretty cool.
yeah. So I'm doing all that stuff. So I'm using my phone like heavily. Um And by the time I go to lunch, I usually go to work at like 7, I go to lunch at 11, and I have an hour, and I usually just go into the car and listen to my audiobook while I'm eating. And sometimes I forget to plug it in, so it's, doing that for an hour and lunch. Sometimes it gets an hour of charging, and then I go back to work and have the rest of the day until like 4:15 where my phone's doing all the same work it was doing before, and I get back in the car and I'm at like 50%. And for me, I'm like 50% is
That's
good. I got
fantastic.
battery.
Yeah. Okay. So
I can
batteries.
make the rest I can go the rest of the day.
So on your Z Fold, what similar situation. You were coming home and were you at
I was at
40%,
like
30%, something?
30, I was like 40 or 30%. Now, I think a lot of that has to do too with like the screen was super bright. So I think that was like doing a lot of it. And then I'm not sure, what else was going on, but I just figured it was the screen was just super bright all the time and maybe it's just, it's not on this one. I don't know. I don't know.
So
Whatever the processing is, it's better on this phone in my opinion.
I will agree the Z Fold screens are still like phenomenal. The Pixel
Yeah, they're
Fold you
crazy
have,
bright.
the foldable one, you're mostly using the cover display. It's going to hit
Mhm.
about 1800 nits in normal use, probably a little less than that for most people. And I think that, let's see here, I'm just going to Google it in real time. Z Fold 6 GSM Arena. And I think it is, I think normal use is a little bit brighter. So it's 2600 nits peak, but that's not going to be what it's going to be. I do think my experience backs us up though that it is just a little bit brighter
Mhm.
than the Pixel Fold, but still that's impressive battery life. You know
It is. It
you've had
is.
no issues there for sure. And then in terms of the camera, you don't take a lot of pictures. Do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts on the Z Fold camera, versus the Pixel? And I
Um,
know a lot of people really harp on Samsung's camera for failing to capture movement particularly well,
mhm.
and the
I
Pixel
did
does
have a
do a bit
hard
better
time
with
with
that.
that.
I will
Yeah.
say that Pixel probably has the colors are a little bit more muted than the Samsung phone. So,
Mhm.
can you speak to either of those things?
Even with the colors being muted on the Pixel, I still think that I prefer to take photos with my Pixel because the processing just ends up making it look kind of kind of just more interesting in my opinion. The colors, although they're muted, they kind of has like this moody kind of, like the Pixel look. Like it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of sharp and
Mm-hmm.
moody and um I should send you some pictures of the plants that we took on our walk the other day because I feel like all I was doing was just taking pictures of these plants to upload them to the iNaturalist app.
Yeah.
And then I went back in and looked and I was like, damn, these look really
We'll
good, you
throw them on
know?
screen as we're kind of talking here. So you do
Yeah.
feel like you enjoy the Pixel camera a bit more. What about, I mean, I would imagine, are you using the zoom more? You have a 5x instead of the 3x?
I don't think I found a reason to use it, but I know that I will eventually, the longer
Okay.
I use it. I just don't, unfortunately, I don't really like use social media anymore. So the pictures I take are usually just for my own enjoyment. So I don't try to make them look good or anything. But I did struggle with the Samsung, especially taking pictures of Jet,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Because she's
because
very
she's just,
dark
like,
black
fidgety.
and she
Yeah, and then
moves
she
a lot.
moves a
Yep.
lot. All the dogs, they move a lot. It was just hard for me, like, I would just have these pictures where I'm just like, "Man, these just don't really look that good." But when I take a picture of her or, any other moving subject on the Pixel, like, it just
Tends to just
even if
kind
it's
of
not
lock it in.
it locks it in, and I just love that because I can't be bothered to I just
Hold
can't.
still. Let me take it again. Ah, okay.
No,
One more time. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, "Nah, I just don't care, like, this is just for me," so
Yep. Yeah. Totally agree
yeah.
with that. I think we've pretty well covered things, and it does feel like there are some things about the Z Fold that you did prefer, but it does feel like
Mhm.
it feels like I know you really like the customization of the Z Fold with
I
theme
did.
park. We talked about that a lot in
Mhm.
the last episode, really granularly customizing everything. But you've also been quite happy with what you have on your setup now,
Yes.
where you set a wallpaper, a Material 3 expressive, is theming
Yeah,
things quite well. So I think you've been able to come to a theme that you really liked on the Pixel.
I do. I'm gonna show it off. Shane, you'll have to, like, highlight this background,
It's
because
on it's on the website. If you go
yep,
to shanecraig.tech
yep,
slash wallpapers, and you
that's what
scroll
it
down,
looks like.
it is on there.
This is, like, I love this one so much that I actually put it, as my background on my desktop computer as well. Um, And I do have, like, the customization set to just kind of match it. I
Mhm.
went in and I changed it because there were, like, a lot of yellow outlines, and I was like, "I just don't like that." So I changed it to kinda like a brown green
Yeah.
to fit that, like, foresty vibe, and I really like it, and you also kinda helped me, set up my home screen because I did like the way that my home screen was set up before, but
Mhm.
the way that it opens up is different than it was
So
on the previous phone.
this is another good thing we're gonna hit on here. So on your Z Fold, you had independent layouts. Your cover display was a layout, and then when
Mhm,
you opened it, you had a different layout.
mhm.
On the Pixel, It's not like that. It's the same
Yeah.
layout on it's you don't it's just it's mirrored. So you
Mhm.
actually do prefer having separate independent layouts for inner and outer screen,
Yeah.
which is not how
I
I
do
am. I actually
because
like it this way.
well, because, like, what happens is I end up, like, with these, like, extra apps that are just kind of they're kinda just wherever, and I'm like, "That just kinda sucks," but, I mean, that's just how it is. I don't know, that's just how it is.
Yeah. Do you
Also,
do you have
on my
folders down here on the bottom row? Are those folders? Did we do that?
yeah,
So would it be fair to say overall you do prefer the Pixel 9 Pro Fold over the Z Fold 7 or
I do
6?
think so. I
Okay.
do think so. Now if listen, if I use the 7, I would probably feel a little bit different because that phone gives me phone envy. That is a really nice, slick phone.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone saying that we're Samsung shills here either because there's a whole shelf in your studio of Pixels, and like half of those were mine that I
I,
loved.
in my possession currently, have a Pixel 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I've
Yeah,
got a
and
few
I
holes in my
also
collection. We're gonna have to kind of correct that. I will
yeah,
eventually,
yeah, because
but
I think I sold one of my phones to, like, a family member that I wish I hadn't done,
it's a
but
Pixel 3 and I bought one on eBay to have
yeah,
it. So I will
yeah,
get the rest. There's a whole shelf
yep,
over here of Pixel
yeah,
boxes which you can't really see. If anything, I've been accused of being a fanboy for Surface Duo, for Pixels, for Samsung. Name a
mhm,
brand, I've been I've been
yeah.
accused of being biased for them, so it
I
is what it
also
is.
want everybody to know that I strongly encourage Shane to get this newest Pixel Fold because
Mhm.
I number
'Cause she
1,
because you wanted to use the 9.
I really wanted to use the 9, and that's the only way that was gonna happen, and then also, I just feel like it would feel wrong not to just continue to grow the collection, but I would love to use that phone, the newest one. What is the newest one? The
The
10?
the 10 Pro Fold, yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible
I
name.
wanna yeah, I don't like
Terrible.
the names. I can't keep up with all the different numbers and everything. But my point is that both of these phones are really good, even to someone who doesn't know anything about phones. Like, I mean, I know stuff because of you and because of the channel and everything, but like, I'm not using these phones the way that they're probably intended to be used. And I'm sitting here like they're both really good. They both draw me in for different reasons.
And
Um,
and back in the day, tried to get you to use the LG phone with with dual screen.
I did
No,
try that and remember
but
I didn't like it.
wasn't for you. But here you are
Yeah.
now having used a few folding phones, and
Mhm.
would it also be fair to say you have no interest in going back to a slab phone?
That's not necessarily true.
Okay.
I wanna go back to my pink fold because or
Now,
oh my god, my pink
is that primarily
pixel.
for aesthetic reasons?
Yes. That is literally the next point I was gonna make, is that I miss my pink phone and I wish that they had better colors. Yeah, and I miss that phone.
Yeah. So you
I
just
love that
meant
phone.
it's not necessarily that you're like, oh, this foldable isn't useful to me. I don't like how, thick it is or heavy. It's more that you
Mhm.
just you just look at this phone and you're like, I want
Yeah.
to use this phone again. I get that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's part of what pulls me into like the Z Fold 7. I'll be happily
Mhm.
using my Pixel and I'll pick it
And then
up and
you
I'm
look.
like, oh, this thing's so nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I guess I'll put my
Yeah.
7 back in there. Yeah, I get that.
'Cause, like, I love that phone so much. I love that phone. I wish it had just been, like, a little bit bigger. But then, like, if it was just this phone but pink, then it would be a little bit bigger because there's, more to it. So, like, if they had just made
A
the
pink Pixel
colors
Fold.
a pink Pixel
You
Fold
would
or
be
even made a pink case, like, through the Google Store because their cases are superior. This one's really good too. I like it. It really fits, like, the foresty vibe too, but
mhm.
I just love that what is it, like a peony or something is
Yeah,
what they
peony, I
called
think
it?
is what it was. We need to try to
Peony.
find We need to try to find a skin maybe
Yeah,
for
I would
that
try a
one.
skin.
If
I
you could do a
think
skin and then like a clear case,
yeah,
maybe would work for you. So
yeah, maybe.
we'll look into that. There's a few different
Yeah.
options. There's a few different websites that do
Aesthetics
skins.
matter to me because
Mhm.
I'm not a techie person, so it's gotta look good.
It matters to me too, and I am a tech
Yeah.
person. So,
Yeah.
well, I think we've pretty much said what we need to say about this situation using the Pixel 9
Mhm.
Pro Fold. I think there was some good stuff in here. Unless there's anything else that you feel like you need or want to say.
Mm. Oh, we didn't talk about all the things I have back with the Pixel software now. I have my call screening, just like all the things that they add in that I was like really missing with my Samsung, like the now playing.
Hmm.
Using Gemini is really nice. The Pixel Studio. I
Hmm.
know that that stuff is like
Some of it's on
on
like
every
Gemini is
smartphone
Pixel
now.
Studio's not obviously, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but like these style features or whatever, these the
Hmm.
software is, people complain a lot about how phones now, like all they do is talk about software, it's all about AI, it's all about, whatever, and they don't like it. And I get that, but like unless someone's doing something different with like the form factor of the phone, like how it physically looks,
That's what separates
software
them.
right now is what we have because they're all really good. The cameras are all really good. It's not like back in the mid 2000s when they're like, this phone's going to be able to use the internet, you know? It's like they all can do the same thing. So the software is what's going to matter now.
Hmm.
And for people like me, like, I'm not going to go into my pro mode on my camera. I'm
Ever.
not going to do that.
Me
I'm
neither.
not
Point and click.
editing, the way that I use my phone, like, I like these features. I'm not saying like I'm all for it being all about that, but I do like these features and they have been very helpful for me. I screen every call that comes to me that isn't in my phone book, you know?
Hmm.
Like I just that's something to me. I think every single phone needs to have that now. Anyways, that was a tangent, but I'm just glad to be back on the Pixel software. It's fun, it's quirky, it's useful, and I like the way that it looks and feels. So it's good to be back.
Cool. Well, I think that'll do it then. So,
Next phone's
guys,
gonna be the Honor phone.
yeah, we may have to do that eventually too when I'm done. Lately, it's been bad. I've been going before when I was switched between two phones a lot that I really like. Now I've got three right now that I'm jumping
Yeah,
between. Like it's a bad time right
it's
now.
it's funny too. Like we'll go to bed and you're using like the Fold 7, and then the next day you're using
A
the
different
Honor,
phone, and then by
and
the end of the
then
day, I'm
like
using a different
you
phone.
yeah, I'm like, he's like just and I can tell too, because sometimes like our messages get a little wonky. Like I'm at work and
It's
our messages aren't
RCSs.
going through. I'm like, he's switching phones again.
I can't help it. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you have any thoughts or comments, whatever you want to drop down there, feel free to do that. To see more content like this, hit that subscribe button before you go. Jesse, thanks for another episode of Wife Approved Tech.
Mhm.
I'll see you guys on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.